But watch this. Remember all the drama I was talking about leading up to this game as well? Look at the Ravens go right to that Titans logo. Oh, rep your set, son. Rep your set. One more look. Peter saw it the whole time. Now, I know Titans fans are going to be calling for defensive pass interference, but hey,
no chance.
A.J. Brown did get called earlier, right? It's a playoff game, and the Ravens stopped the drive defensively, and then they put it away with their offense. Lamar Jackson finally gets his first playoff win as a starting quarterback, and the Ravens advance to the divisional round with a 20-13 win. Wow, what a day to get started here on a Sunday. Michael Lee's with you here on SportsCenter. Marcus Spears, Dan Orlovsky. Before we get into all the X's and O's and everything that happened, what did you make of the overall emotion of this game? Coming in first, Marcus, how it played out during the game as well.
Yeah, listen, pressure, right? We talked about Lamar Jackson leading up into this playoff game,
right,
and obviously his early exit. So you look at this game, a 10-0 lead. What's the scariest thing for the Ravens? To get behind.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of those things start coming to your mind, and then you saw at some point Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens, say, hey, I have Lamar Jackson, and used him the way you should use the best player on the field, and eventually it started to take hold.
I think the reality is neither of these teams like each other.
Exactly.
You know, like
that's that drama.
This goes back to last year. Baltimore's the 1 seed,
yeah,
the MVP of the NFL, and then Tennessee goes in there and knocks them out. It's been brewing since then.
Yes.
And then they play in the middle of the season this year, and these teams are both cut from the same cloth. We want to physically beat you up. We want to play in your face, pound the rock, smash mouth football. We think we're better than you, and you think you're better than us. Let's find out. And at the end of the day, like Marcus said, Baltimore proved today that they can win ugly, that they can win kind of without the explosiveness of Lamar Jackson, and they got their kind of nose bloodied a little bit. And then at the end of the day, 8 was just absolutely spectacular with his feet.
If you notice at the end of the broadcast there was some chirping across the field between these two teams. Coming up here momentarily, we're going to hear from coaches. We're going to hear from some of the players, see how those emotions ran over after the game. But right now, we're going to take you to the pivotal moment in this game for the Ravens, of course, and it was in that third quarter drive. All right, so you got Derrick Henry. He led the league in rushing, but you got Lamar Jackson looking for that first playoff win, as I mentioned. Opening drive of the third quarter, Lamar, 23 yards down the sideline, another big gain there, and you'll see what happens. We see this so many times with this Ravens offense. Do I keep it? Do I give it up? Number 8 was smart to keep it himself there. Later in this drive, how about this? You expect him to keep it, Marcus, but he drops it off to Patrick Ricard.
Absolutely, and this is what I talked about with Greg Roman. Some easy throws to out-leverage the defense, get up the field, and get another first down.
And then from here, Dan, all you got to do is give it to the best running game in the NFL.
Yeah, and Patrick Ricard leads the way. They get a great double team off their left side, and then J.K. Dobbins, watch the seam right there behind that double team, following Patrick Ricard, and the physicality to finish that drive.
Yeah.
And what that did was cap off 17 unanswered points for a Ravens team that was down 10-0 on the road. They took control of that game, and they went on to win it and advance to the divisional round. Dan, speak to me a little bit about that response from that team, capitalized by that drive.
It was huge. I mean, you figure, okay, we're down 10-0. We threw the ball too early, and that leads to that interception. We're kind of getting away from our identity. And then they settle in. And Greg Roman, their play caller, is like, okay, we've got something to work with here. And the ball gets out to the perimeter early on in the second half. And then Lamar's starting to get into a flow, right? That's the big deal, is getting to the flow. He's such a special player. And then their offensive line decides that they're just going to start weighing on people and wearing on people. And those playmakers, a J.K. Dobbins, a Hollywood Brown, a Mark Andrews, you get the ball into their hands. And at the end of the day, Michael, it's like, you guys are the paycheck earners, right? Like, let me just get them the football and make some plays. And I think it allowed them to settle into a rhythm of how they were going to win that football game this afternoon.
All right, let's get some perspective right now, live on SportsCenter. Head coach of the Titans, Mike Vrabel, who just lost in the wild card round, and the Ravens are moving on.
That's how it goes sometimes. You know, you're going to need all 3 phases to execute. Give them credit. You know, they won the game. It's a good football team. We knew they were good. But nobody let anybody down.
Yeah, Mike, the decision to punt on 4th and 2 at the beginning of the fourth quarter, can you kind of walk us through your thought process on that?
No, just decided to punt. Thought we were playing well defensively. Thought we would get a punt inside the 10 and, be able to play the field position game. Had some time there that I felt like, we could. And, we held them to a field goal. It's just, we were playing against a kicker there that, kicks them from the 40. It's